my most memorable travel story experience um, when I was in Greece. Getting back to when I was in Italy, my last day leaving Italy, I treated myself to a nice steak dinner. Um, in Italy, it's they don't even put salt and pepper on your table. How your food is prepared, like how your food is prepared is how you should eat it. It's an insult to them if you send your food back. Um, so at the time, I ate my steak non-bloody. Now I eat my steak a little bit rawer than what I did in the past. But when I ordered my steak, I asked for like medium well, no blood. When I got the steak, it was rawer than what I'm used to, but honest to God, like it was a delicious steak. I ended up eating it. I didn't send it back. Um, Felt like was fine, and then the next day, left for Greece, Mykonos, and I started feeling like really off. I didn't feel right. Um, and so I got there, and where I was staying in Mykonos was like a beach hostel, and these hostels had it was literally like a shed. I think I mentioned previously that it was literally like a friggin' little shed with no garbage, not even a mirror. It was literally just a twin bed and a little side table, and that was it.
Where
No
no
bathrooms, like
washroom?
no, 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 no. No. It was maybe like a couple minute walk away, the bathroom.
Uh,
But you get what you pay for, right? It was only
right.
like it was super cheap, and it was a beach hostel, and Mykonos is known for partying, and that's where I decided to go anywhere in Greece, Mykonos. I got there, and I already started to feel off. I started to feel not good, and I started to walk along the beach on the beach hostel, and I noticed this like freshly squeezed juice or like tea thing. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go check that out, and I ended up getting you go to Starbucks, you get like a medicine ball with like ginger, lemon to make you feel like better kind of thing, right?
Right.
Um, and the male workers there, of course, I'm by myself. They red red friggin' flag. They start asking me, and I didn't think anything of it because through everywhere that I was in Europe, everyone was so friendly and, asking questions and just getting everyone's story pretty much. So you're alone, and where are you from, and do you have like a partner back in Canada, and just like kind of like weird questions. And I was just like, oh, okay. Didn't think anything of it at the time. A couple days goes by, and I'm starting to feel like I'm on my friggin' deathbed. Like so sick. I was so like lethargic. I had zero energy to even go to the bathroom. And I text my brother, and I was like, I'm like, this is the end. Like I'm dying here. Like I was so, so sick. I've never felt that sick in my life. Um, Long story, boring. um, Pretty much in the middle of the night, I end up getting a cab to this private hospital that was open 24/7, and getting back, thank God, I I ended up getting travel insurance because I debated not getting it. And at the last minute, I'm so glad that I took out travel insurance before I left. So I definitely recommend anyone that's going like overseas to get travel insurance because you never know. You never know. Went to the hospital, and these the this little town, like, they did not speak a lick of English whatsoever.
Oh, no.
Very, very, very little, and, like, by myself, it was just, like, so it was hard. I don't do very good with needles and blood, but I got what they were, it's trying to explain. So took blood work the first time, did an X-ray, and was still like hooked up on IVs and shit, and I was still feeling like death. And then the nurse comes back in and was like, and I could tell something was just like off, something just wasn't right. And I was like, is everything okay? He's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do like in broken English, we're gonna do blood from your other arm now. And I'm like, well, that's very strange. Um, so took blood from the other arm, and then little bit of time goes by, the doctor comes in and he was just like something, your blood is like really off, like some, I don't know what's wrong, but like just something isn't right. Um Fast forwarding, when I was at the beach hostel, I ended up buying this medication. To us, it would be like Tylenol or Advil. They don't have
Right.
Tylenol or Advil down there. I don't even know what it was called, but I ended up buying that. The instructions weren't in English whatsoever. Messaged my mom, like, "Can you Google this, pills? I don't know how much to take," and like blah blah blah. So she told me like this ridiculous, "Oh, you can take like one every like 4 hours," or like some shit like that. So I was popping these Tylenols like they were pretty much candy because I felt like I needed it. I just wanted to feel better. I
Yeah.
just wanted to like, it was gorgeous. I wanted to explore. I was in Greece. Well, that was just making me worse.
Oh,
So
no.
then I went to the hospital, jumping back and forth here. Um, my blood work was pretty much, I was on the verge of like liver failure pretty much, or like on the verge of like a heart attack and stroke. Like it was so bad. Um, Long story boring, I ended up they wanted me to stay longer at the hospital, but since it was a private hospital, I my travel insurance wouldn't cover, like I would have to pay up front, get home, and then they'll reimburse me. So I was looking at like a couple grand to pay up front, and that was pretty much like my way home pretty much.
Right, right.
So I was like, honestly, just release me. I'm gonna catch the next flight home. So yeah, he had to write like a note for me to get on like the plane to even come home because I was so deathly ill. So they gave me these like antibiotics, and I've never had a reaction to pills or like antibiotics or anything before. And whatever they gave me, I barely made it back to my hostel. I was so sick. Um, Slept for like a couple hours that night, got up, went to, because I didn't have Wi-Fi in my shed. So I had to walk to the beach pretty much to get Wi-Fi. So I walked down to the beach, went straight to this juice place to get another one of those lemon ginger things. And at the time, my cell phone had one of those cases where I kept my travel credit cards in my phone case. So I put that on the counter where when I was getting juice. It was the same guy, and I think I turned away for like literally a millisecond. His buddy came. They like shook hands, started talking Greek, and then he went away. got my juice, and then my back my with my little laptop. Thank God I brought a little mini laptop or any other means of communication, because if I didn't, I literally would have been fucked. I ended up walking away because I forgot that I left it there, but I as soon as I walked away, I came back and I was like, "Oh, I left my," because I even put the key to my shed on top of my phone. So, yeah, they were all in cahoots. I noticed they had a security camera there, so I asked, like, I'm like, "I want your manager. I know I left my phone and, like, my keys here." My way home, that was my ticket home. Like, literally, I was, like, stranded there.
Oh my
So,
god.
that was honestly probably the worst feeling. Plus, I was already so sick, feeling, like, so sick to begin with. It was literally hours after I got released from the hospital, and that whole day, the manager ended up coming. I said, "I wanna see, your security cameras. I know, like, I left it here." "Oh, the security cameras are broken." Of course they are. They're I've never had any problems in Europe until I got to Mykonos. I've never felt like so like, literally, like, they're professional con artists down there, like, looking back, like, it's disgusting. Um, and, yeah, so it's I tried calling it through, like, the front desk, like, no one was picking up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, like, this is terrible. I have" like, I'm literally stranded here. My mom's gonna have to, like, wire me, like, buy my plane ticket or something. I was just honestly more upset with my phone, because that's where I was taking all my pictures
Oh.
through those, like, couple months that I was traveling to, 12 countries. That was all my pictures, and I was, just more heartbroken. The credit cards, that didn't matter. Like, I was just more upset with the pictures, all the pictures that I had of my
Irreplaceable.
niece, and yeah, the pictures were irreplaceable. So, getting back, thank God I brought a little mini laptop with me, and I ended up emailing. I know, thinking back, I'm like, "How do I email?" Because we're so used to doing shit on our phones that I forgot how to use a lot, like, to email. Or maybe it's just me. I know I'm so, like, computer illiterate, I know nothing. Um, so I emailed my mom and I'm like, "You won't believe, but, like, my phone's been stolen, my credit cards, like, I literally have nothing," and she couldn't believe it because I've never lost anything in my life. I'm so, like, anal about losing things, and, like, everything has its place. So, and then I emailed, thank God, I owe her my friggin' life. My friend Sarah, she works at a cell phone company. Thank God, and iPhones, they have Find My iPhone apps.
Yes.
Bless the friggin' iPhone, Find My iPhone app. And this is all within, like, a couple days has gone by. This is not, like, in one whole day. This is all spanning with a couple days. I was communicating with her, and keep in mind, I was 7 hours ahead. So half the time, like, I was waiting on, emails from my mom, or, like, it was hard being that, time difference.
Yeah.
So, long story boring, my mom, God bless her, brought one of my old iPhones down to my friend Sarah. She unlocked it and found my iPhone, and it was in town. It was like 20 minutes away, and it was at some restaurant. I ended up Googling this restaurant, and it on TripAdvisor. The restaurant had 4.5, like, it was, like, a fancy restaurant, and I was like, "Okay, like, it's probably some, like, cook that took" someone that worked in the kitchen that took my phone or, I don't know, like, my mind was just thinking everywhere, like, every possible situation, right? I I ended up going to this restaurant, and because I was so determined at that point, when it first happened, I was just like, "You know what? I just wanna go home." And then I'm, like, snapped into it, I'm like, "No, like, I'm not leaving this island without my phone." Like, that's, like,
Yeah.
my my couple months of, you know, my life-changing experience of traveling, like, backpacking through Europe, like, that was everything.
Yeah.
So I went to this restaurant and I told, like, my cab driver, I was like, "Please do not leave here, like, without me, like, come in to check on me if I'm okay in, like, 10 minutes." I go in, and as soon as I walk in the door, it's super dark, and it was, like, this gust of smoke that, like, came out as soon as I opened up the doors, and I got this immediate feeling that this restaurant was not legit, it was definitely a front, and my adrenaline is just, like, pounding. I'm still feeling like garbage still at this point. Um, I go in and there was, like, not many people sitting there. It was totally sketch, but there was this one guy that was sitting at the bar, and he just kinda looked like the boss or, like, the manager kinda thing, and I just walked over and I was just like, "My cell phone is here. I know it's here, and I'm not leaving without it," pretty much. And he reached beside him, and he had this little wooden box. He opened it, and there must have been, I kid you not, like 15 to 20 cell phones in it. And my cell phone had like a bright red case. And I don't know how he knew, but he grabbed my cell phone. He grabbed the red case and he passed it to me. And I was like, "You motherfucker." I'm like,
No
I am like,
kidding.
I was so mad, but honestly,
Wow.
I was so happy. Like, I looked before I left the restaurant, all my credit cards were still there. Um, I can't remember if it was a hundred or $1,000, like, quint, I think that's what they're called in Budapest, one of their dollars. It's only, like, $2 worth for us, but I was saving it to scrapbook. That was still in there, the bill was still in there.
Amazing.
So, I don't know why or what kinda scam they had going on there, but, like, I honestly felt so bad for the people that didn't have the means of tracking down their phone because there was so many phones there, and I was just fortunate enough that I tracked down my phone and I got it back, and yeah, I
That's
honestly have,
amazing.
like, it's one of those things that still make me mad to this day, and it's disgusting really how people are, but those people are professional con artists, like, really.
That is
And then
crazy.
getting back to me being sick. So, the next day, I ended up flying from Mykonos to Athens because I couldn't get a straight flight from Mykonos to Toronto. Flew to Athens, um, treated myself to a nice hotel because it was my last day in Europe, and it wasn't planned, like, my original plan was from Greece, I was gonna go back to Italy I wanted to attend a cooking school, like a cooking class there. That was my plan, that was my goal, and getting sick just wasn't on the plan, and it it is what it is, but, treated myself to a nice, hotel, because they had free transportation from the hotel to the airport in the morning, and that was so key for me. And so my one of my symptoms that I was felt that I was sick. It was a very clumpy throat. It felt like something was in my throat the whole time I was sick. It was almost like when you get like a cold
Yeah.
and it's your throat feels like a ball of phlegm, pretty
Mhm.
much. That's that's how it feels. That's how it felt, but just worse, almost like cutting off your airways, pretty much.
Oh my god.
So I'm laying in my nice comfy bed, and I get woken up and I'm just like, this is so attractive. Oh my god. So it just felt like I needed to cough up something. So sorry. There's no other way to describe that. There's no attractive way to put that.
No.
There's not. So I just had that feeling of just that I had to cough something up. Um so I coughed it up and coughed something up. So I went to the bathroom and I was going to spit it in the toilet. And I was just like, it kind of feels like I should probably, like, I want to look at it. So I put it, spit it in this like Kleenex, and sure enough, it was definitely like not normal. So it was definitely the parasite that I coughed up.
It's a parasite?
Yeah. So like one of the blood tests, I had to write it down. It was my CRP. Or no, sorry, it was oh my god, I'm gonna try and, like, say this, and I'm probably gonna pronounce it so wrong. Polymorph Funicular cells?
I wouldn't know if it's
Anyways,
wrong.
I don't know. It comes up poly on your, like, blood test.
Okay.
It's signs of, like, a really bad infection or like, a parasite infection. Um, and given to, like, how, like, my white blood cell count was, like, so high, it was, like, double. My lymphocyte was so low, it was, like, barely non-existent. Um, s Long story boring, I given how this thing looked, I ended there's you Google parasites, and there's literally, like, hundreds of them, but I definitely found pictures that looked like what came out of my mouth, what came out of my throat.
Oh my god.
It honestly looked like a giant snail or worm, bloody.
Oh my
I know
god.
that's so,
So
like, I know this is, like, such an attractive story,
that's
but
crazy. And all this happened simultaneously. Now, when you got home, did you get treatment? Or were you
so
better after that?
after I coughed this thing up, I instantly felt better. Like, it was, like, amazing how, like, this thing came out, and I was 100% felt better. Like, I was mad that I was leaving the next morning because I felt fine. I could have continued with my travels.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go spiritual for a second.
Yeah, please do.
I know, like, some people are gonna think, like, I'm goddamn nuts, but I firmly believe in, like, signs and, just shit from the universe, like, everything happens for a reason. That next morning when I was on the shuttle to the airport, this beautiful song, wasn't in English, but it was so beautiful, came on in my shuttle, and I ended up Shazamming this song. Totally rare because I didn't think of any other beautiful songs. The music is gorgeous in Europe, but I just felt gravitated to this song. I Shazammed it. A week or 2 goes by, and I'm home. I download this song, and the name of the song translated in English was, "You Left Too Soon." And my goal was I wasn't supposed to leave. I was supposed to go back to Italy to go to
Wow.
school, and it's just one of those things that you look back on, and it's just like, was that was I supposed to, like, should I have canceled my plane ticket home and, like, flew to flew to Italy? Like, it's one of those things, like,
Or what would
and
have happened if you did? like, maybe
Yeah,
that happened for a reason to prevent you from going, because something, God forbid, something
yeah,
worse, who knows?
I
That's
know.
wild.
I know, like, everything happens for a reason. I still listen to the song to that song, like, to this day, and it's just, like, so beautiful, and I like to, like, think back at it, and I was just like it's one of those just, like, spiritual moments that is just so, beautiful, and it just makes you think, like, everything happens for a reason, and was I on the right path, or, like, should I have left? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Crazy.
Well, I mean,
Send it to me, and I'll put it in the background to this story.
no, I'll send it to you regardless. You listen to it, and
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful song. It's obviously not in English, but it's very beautiful. I love it.
Oh, I'm
I
glad
love
you were
it.
able to, share that story with me.
Yeah, thanks for
That's
listening. I know that was a
wild.
I know it's a kind of a long story, but it's one of those whenever someone asks about like a crazy travel story, I just immediately go to that story in Greece because it was a wild one. I got sick and then stole my friggin' means of getting back home like
Then you by a
all
miracle,
in
you
a
got it
couple
back.
hours. Yeah.
Like,
Oh
that's the
man.
real miracle too, is that you even got it back.
People thought I was nuts. My parents thought I was like friggin' insane that I went to this place by myself to get it back, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, like, I I don't care." Like, I didn't care. I wasn't leaving there without my phone because those pictures meant so much to me, and I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah.
I don't change I wouldn't change a thing.
No. I'd imagine, like, looking back, you probably realize that coulda went differently, but
It definitely could've.
considering it
Yeah.
didn't, you're so thankful to have
Mhm.
all those pictures and those memories.
Yeah, I know, just thinking about if I would've left without those pictures, like, I would've had nothing to like, that was, like, thousands of pictures that I
Oh,
took within those
uh,
oh, man.
I couldn't
It's
imagine.
heartbreaking.
I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine. Well, thanks for calling me
Okay.
back to
Yeah,
tell me that
girl.
story.